What is up, everybody? It is I, Ronin, and today I'm coming at you with learning how to play for the newly revealed archetype, Senkas. So Senkas are a series of beast warriors. They try to go second, and they have some nice little synergy with Firefist. And if I had some more time to test this, I definitely, well, I definitely would have made probably a Firefist Senka thing, because that would actually be nuts, and it kind of is with what support we have with this. But I don't know. I kind of wanted to try to keep it as pure as I could for this initial testing of it, and it's not it's not an awful deck. It's also not the best, if that makes any sense. But yeah, let's go ahead and go over the cards. So first up, our monster lineup, we have one Senka champion Zongdi, three Senka Justice Guanyin, three Senka intermediary Sun Mao, three Senka Adonis Zhou 3 Senka Lu Zhan, as well as 3 Brotherhood of the Firefist Roosters. So they all have different effects, and we'll go over the lower level ones first because their effects actually rely on sending things from hand or field to the graveyard. And a lot of them, well, actually 2 of them, that being Sun Mao and Lu Zhan, have a ability that says as long as another Senka monster is on your field, this Senka monster cannot be targeted by attack, so you can just have both of these on the field and have like a bit of a battle lock. But let's go over what they actually do. So for unique effects, they each have an effect that sends a card from your hand or field to the graveyard as cost. Sun Mao, once you pay that cost, lets you add a Senka monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. And Lu Zhuan lets you pay this cost, also provided that your opponent controls more monsters than you. And you can special summon a Senka monster from your deck, except for itself. So yeah, Liu Zhuan is super important. Sun Mao searches everything, which is great. Then we have Zongong, or Zogong? I think it's Zogong. It lets you target a continuous spell trap you control, send it to the grave to add a Senka spell trap from your deck to your hand. And if another Senka's monster effect is activated, it lets you target a effect monster your opponent controls, and its effects get negated until the end of the turn as hard ones per turn. Sun Mao also has a similar effect where if another Senka effect activates, it lets you target a monster your opponent controls return to the hand. And Lu Zhan, when another attack is declared involving your other Senka monster, you can draw one. So it's pretty good. The low level ones, the only downside is they can't be swarmed super heavily. Of course, there are ways to thankfully get around that with things like Tensu as well as some other continuous spell traps. But yeah, now let's go over the big boys, starting with our 1 of, which should probably actually be a 2 of, Zongdi. So it gains 300 attack points for each monster your opponent controls during your turn only, and each of its effects is a hard once per turn. You can special summon from your hand if you control 2 or more Senka monsters. And if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can activate this effect, which lets it make 2 attacks on monsters during the battle phase. So yeah, he's kind of like your push for game. He's a little rough because you're not always going to have 2 Senka monsters on board like you usually will, but most of the time you might not. So yeah, he's kind of your push engine if you need it. And now we have the one that should also be a 2 of Senka Justice Guanyin. Can special summon itself from hand if only your opponent controls monsters. If your opponent controls more monsters than you can just pop something on their field once per turn as a target. It also protects all of your other Senka monsters from targeting. So, my thought process for having Guanyan at free was that he special summons himself from hand, so I kind of need him in hand as much as possible. Uh, but no, Sun Mao as well as Lu Zhan and the Senka Legend, the free visit. All of those really make getting to your Senka monsters a non-issue most of the time. So yeah, run Zongdi and Guanyan at 2 for future reference. Then we have our Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Rooster. If it's special summoned by the effect of a Fire Fist, you road as a Fire Fist. And by sending a Fire Formation uh, spell trap from your field to the graveyard, you can set a different fire formation spell trap directly from your deck. So Tenki will get you to a Tensu, Tensu will get you to a Tenki. It's honestly pretty solid stuff. Now for our spell and trap card lineup, we have 3 Pot of Extravagance, 1 Upstart, 1 Monster Reborn, free Call by the Grave, free Tensu, free Tenki, free Senka Legend, the free Visit, and free Senka Legend, the Sun Lu Alliance. Let's go over the Senka stuff first, though. So Senka Legend, the free Visits, is a continuous spell, the better of the two. It's sent to the graveyard during the second standby phase after its activation, so kind of like a bit like the spiral continuous spell traps. They do similar things, but that's not something we generally need to worry about. And it says that during your main phase, if you normal or special summon a Senka monsters, you can target one of those monsters and add from your deck to your hand a Senka monster with a different name from that target. This is sent from field to grave. You can special summon one Senka monster from your hand as a hard once per turn. So if you open with this and say a Lu Wan or a Sun Mao, you activate it, normal summon one of those two, add the opposite attribute, I suppose, or Zong Di if you're feeling confident. Use their effect to send this to the grave to search something or summon something, as well as getting another summon from hand. So, yeah, this card is actually super insane. Now for one that's slightly less insane, but still pretty good. Senka Legend, the Sun Lu Alliance. If you control 2 or more Senka monsters with different attributes, you can declare an attribute, and monsters your opponent controls cannot activate their effects if they are of said attribute. And if your opponent special summons a monsters, or if you activate a Senka monster's effect, you can make all your Senka monsters you control gain 300 attack for each Senka monster till the end of the turn, even if this leaves the field, also a hard once per turn. So much less good than the free visit, but still helpful if your opponent has a bit of a negate board. It forces a negate, and there are times when the attack gaining effect is surprisingly helpful, which you're going to see in a little bit. Now for our other spell traps, we have Tensu, gives us an extra normal summon of a Beast Warrior. Tenki searches level 4 or below Beast Warriors. They're both continuous spells, so they can be sent for effects. Very good stuff. The Pot of Extravagance, we don't really need the extra deck too heavily with this deck. There's nothing much that you would want to summon from it because all the good effects are main deck monsters on the field. So you keep that. Upstart for a little extra consistency. Monster Reborn, just to be able to recover some and maintain that sick field presence. And Called by the Grave at free because we like to search and not be stopped. Now for our trap lineup, we just have free Storming Mirror Force, as well as one Senka Legend Champion's Bravery at Changban Bridge. It's a bit of a battle trap. It's a little weird, but we'll go over it first. So it's a continuous trap. It makes it so that your Senka monsters become Armides, and it has 2 other additional effects that are hard once per turns. At the start of your opponent's battle phase, you can send this card from the spell and trap zone to the grave, and then your opponent's monsters cannot target Senka monsters for attacks this turn. And when opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish this card from the grave to special a Senka from your deck. So it's perfectly fine at 1. Generally speaking, you'll have Sun Mao plus Lu Wan every time, so it's not super necessary, but it is kind of nice if you're just stuck with one of your ones that can be attacked. But yeah, not bad. The Armedia's effect is pretty cool, but generally just a one of. And storing Mirror Force, if your opponent attacks into it, uh, return all of their attack position monsters at the hand. It's surprisingly helpful in the meta as it is, as weird as that might sound. But yeah, it's actually really good, and this deck can somewhat capitalize on that. So yeah, good stuff, good stuff. That's the main deck. Now for the extra deck, we have Nightmare Package at 2 because we don't want to banish everything off of Extravagance. Boral Sword at free because Extravagance. Free Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger Kings lets you set a fire formation directly from the deck when it's summoned, as well as negating everything on the field monster-wise that is not a Beast Warrior. So, yeah, this deck is pretty good at making rank 4s, so it's nice to have every now and again. Then we also have Pint-Sized Priest, or Darumadal, or yeah, the Darumadal. We have Then we have the Darumadal, and it requires 2 Beast Warriors or Winged Beasts, and it gains 100 attack for each Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast on the field, and once per turn it lets you target spell trap you control, spell trap your opponent controls, blow them both up. So yeah, considering that we have so many continuous spell traps and having another way to send those to the graveyard is very good. But yeah, now for the side deck, we have free Nibiru for those combo hates, free Kaiju for Kaijus, a Raigeki, because I didn't know what I wanted the 14th card to be, free Twin Twister in case we need that spell trap removal, 2 more Senka Legend Champions Bravery at Chonbon Bridge, because, who knows, maybe we're playing against a battle heavy deck, and free Red Reboot for those control matchups. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck. If you're new here, we just go over a few replays. I show you the combos, the deck doing well, the deck not doing well, so on and so forth, and such like that. But yeah, all that being said, I will see you guys in the first replay. Alright, everybody, one of the first replay with player, we are question mark city in reference to the Forbidden City, because like it's forbidden. Who even knows what goes on there, really? And yeah, we're playing against a weird 50 card Orcus thing. And yeah, this is gonna kinda show the deck being strong. But let's go and get right into it. So our opponent's going first. We always want to go second with this deck. So that is very important to note first. But yeah, so our opponent is going to go ahead and summon the Quick Draw Synchron, putting the Desdrudo in the grave. So you can bring that back. Gonna go ahead and set the Orchestrated Crescendo. Or the Orcus Crescendo, sorry, I always confuse these names for the top cards. Because he does have a couple dangers at hand. But he's gonna go ahead and make Phoenix, make Mermaid, go into Nightmare combo, sending the Jackalope actually, which was actually pretty cool. I dig that. I dig that little tech there. But yeah, so he's gonna summon a Bigfoot from deck, go into Galatea, continue to Nightmare combo, then make the Ding Dang Dingirsu, put a few monsters back, and that's gonna be his turn. So the Orcus combo, generally what I see people end on, plus a little more. He did not appear to be running Topologic Bomber. He's doing a weird zombie Orcus thing. Yeah, he's doing Zombie Orcus, Zombie Danger Orcus. Cool, cool. But yeah, now it's going to be our turn, and it's going to be a little rough to play through, but we're fine. So we activate the 10 key, thinking that he went ahead and set the Crescendo. So we're going to activate that, hoping we can bait out, because, I mean, he doesn't want us getting a search, I don't guess. Fire Fists are really good now, so he thinks Fire Fists, like, ooh, that spooks him. So we go ahead and burn that Crescendo, which is pretty good. So we summon Lujan, which we'll be able to use the effect of, because our opponent does control more monsters around, so we sent the Rooster because it's kind of dead at the moment. Then we're going to activate the Alliance, so we can go ahead and special summon our Zong D, and then we're going to be able to power up our boys. So they got the big numbers, and here I really do think our opponent misplayed, because we're going to start by using Lujan to attack over the Bigfoot, hoping to bait out the destruction effect protection, and he did. I don't know. I don't think you needed to use the Ding Yarasu on that. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get a draw because the attack was declared involving another Senka. We did only draw the Lions though, which is unfortunate. So yeah, we're going to attack, do some pretty big damage there, and we went ahead and set the Storming. However, our opponent... Okay, so he definitely could have recovered here. Or actually, no, he couldn't have, but I am going to show you when he quits this game why he couldn't have. But yeah, so it's our opponent's turn, summons that to get the Thunderbird, going ahead and popping her face down, switching the Bigfoot into attack mode. He's going to go ahead and try to re-Orcus combo, it appears. However, he did special summon, and this is where he lost. Because he special summoned, the Lose Sun Alliance powered up all of our boys. So now, even if he were to link away the Dingirasu, revive it with Share Zone, and send something to the graveyard, all of them would still be too strong for any of his monsters to get over. Yeah, and he doesn't run multiple long Girasus, so he can't even make it over here, and then just like send our stuff to the graveyard. So yeah, you're gonna see, and he quits. So yeah, Lu Sun Alliance or Sun Lu Alliance, surprisingly helpful here. This was kind of the deck going off though, and I'm gonna show you the next replay where things are definitely a little bit rougher for the deck. Just playing through things can be kind of hard for them at times, but you are going to see that in the next game. I'll see you there. Okay, well, the second replay with Gado Senu, using some of the new Dark Magician support. We are going second again, and we have opened up basically the nuts. But you'll see what happens in a second here. So our opponent is going to go first, though, using that sick new Magician Soul to go ahead and get a Dark Magician out of deck, to go ahead and activate the Bomb Teacher and Student to get the Dark Magician Girl. Going to set the Dark Burning Magic, a quick play nuke to my board, which is a little unfortunate. Then our opponent is going to go ahead and special summon the Apprentice Illusion Magician to go ahead and search another Dark Magician, setting the Magician's Combination Negation Trap, which is surprisingly good, and passing. So not a awful turn for our opponent, actually. They set up a Disruption as well as a Negate, have some big bodies on board. They did pretty decent. Now it's our turn, though, and we are going to start by going and activating the Tensu to try to bait out that Negate. Well, actually, we weren't trying to bait out the Negate. What we're going to do was try to get to Tenki, because now we can normal summon Rooster, get Tenki on field, and then just proceed to make plays from there. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and summon Rooster. Rooster effect will set us a Tenki from deck. We activate the Tenki to search the Lujan to really give us the nuts. Then we're going to summon Lujan. We're using Lujan's effect by sending the Alliance in hand to the grave to get that Sun Mao from deck. Then with Sun Mao's effect, we're going to send the Tenki to the grave to search the Zhongdi. Then we'll special summon Zhongdi. Then with Sun Mao's effect, we'll be able to target something, return it to the hand. We're targeting the Dark Magician. He's going to go ahead and activate the Dark Magic Burning attack. Blow up our board. However, we do now have the Guan Yun that we can special summon because only our opponent controls monsters. He's going to go ahead and try to use the Magician's Combination to negate it. Thankfully, Guan Yun is not a once per turn, so we're able to summon Guan Yun, use its ability to pop the Dark Magician, and then attack over the Apprentice Illusion Magician. And here, so yeah, that was yeah, that was actually super hard to play through. Just widespread negation and disruption. It's not impossible to play through, but it's very rough, as you saw. Admittedly, our opponent isn't much. They did top deck the Spellbook of Secrets, though, so that's a thing that's going to happen now. But yeah, so this deck can play through a good bit. It's just a little bit difficult at times. So yeah, our opponent's going to go ahead and get their Spellbook engine online because they can do that, I guess. They're going to go ahead and pass on the Apprentice Illusion Magician with the Eye of Timaeus in hand. And here I do, unfortunately, misclick. So we activate the Tenki to search, summon Sun Mao. Sun Mao is going to go ahead and send something to the grave to bounce things. This doesn't make a difference on the end result of the game, but switching him into defense mode was not intentional. I misclicked. That's my bad. So yeah, we go ahead and search another Guan Yun, though. And we're just going to attack over the Apprentice Illusion Magician. Then is our opponent's turn. He gets the Eternal Soul. Then is our turn. Once again, we switch it back to attack. Summon the Zogong, activate Tenki. Our opponent is going to go ahead and use that Eternal Soul. We will be getting Zogong's effect, though. I tried to banish a Dark Magician, but unfortunately, it didn't, target the one I wanted, because it didn't show me. But yeah, from here we are able to search the bravery at the bridge. And then with Sun Mao's effect, we are going to try to bounce the Dark Magician, which will unfortunately be negated. For the Dark Magician girl, which is just big enough. However, we are able to negate thanks to Zogong, so we can attack over it at the very least, then go in for some damage. Then we're going to set the battle, or the bravery, and it is our opponent's turn. We go ahead and activate the bravery, because let me tell you something. If you activate this at the start of the battle phase, you will not get its effect. But yeah, so our opponent's going to go ahead and use their Eternal Soul, activate the Eye of Timaeus to get the Ultimate Wizards. This battle phase, we're going to go ahead and protect all of our boys from being attacked. He's going to get to draw the Monster Reborn, which he does not use. Sets the Super Poly though. We activate the free visit. He's going to activate the Eternal Soul in order to special summon a brand new Dark Magician. Wizards is going to go ahead and draw on the Magician's Soul. We're going to summon another Lu Zhang, which will let us search the Adonis, and then from there we are going to go ahead and send that to the grave to get another search. And now we can summon something from hand, which is going to be the Wan Yun, and then we will be negating the Ultimate Wizards. And then we make the Phoenix trying to pop the Eternal Soul because it says, if this face-up card leaves the field, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. So naturally, we are trying to pop the Eternal Soul to blow up his field and attack for game. He's going to negate that though, which is expected, which is fine. However, then we're going to go into Unicorn, drop it to spin the Eternal Soul back. However, I don't know if this is a bug or a ruling or what. Apparently, leaving the field by being spun does not destroy your board. Apparently, that is just not something that happens, and is going to cost me the game. So yeah, because we don't control more, because we control more monsters, we can't even pop with Guan Yun. So it's just like, what even? What even? I suppose Boral Sword, was Boral Sword an option? I think it requires 3 or more. Yeah, it does. So Boral Sword wasn't even an option here. But yeah, it's now our opponent's turn. He's going to reuse that Magician's Soul to get back a Dark Magician. Then we're going to go ahead and special summon something from deck. He's getting the draw off of Ultimate Wizards. Unfortunately, we did lose Guan Yan. We tried to use the Bridges effect to get that on the field just for the sake of a draw, which will be negated. Then our opponent's going to attack over the Guan Yan, though, attack over the Unicorn. And then he revives yet another Dark Magician. And not much we can do here, so we're going to go ahead and try to special summon something from deck. Obviously, that's getting negated, because why would you let your opponent special summon from the deck? That'd just be dumb. And yeah, from here, this is kind of where we lose. This is where we lose. He's just going to attack over us, and we're going to die. So yes, I do believe I lost that because I did not know that ruling on Eternal Soul. I wish I had, because it left the field when it was face up. It did that. That's something that occurred, and guess what? He didn't explode. I don't know why he didn't explode. Dark Magician players, tell me if that's like an actual ruling or not, because if so, that is upsetting. Like, very upsetting. But yeah, that was to show the deck playing through some stuff, not necessarily well, but it was a really good game. I had a lot of fun playing it, and yeah, now we're gonna have one more replay, and it's going to show the deck's big problem. It's gonna show the issue with it, and why I personally don't believe this deck is going to amount to much of relevance. But yeah, I'll see you guys there. Okay, welcome to the final replay with Acid Axe EX, and he's playing a dragon, a dragon guard dragon maid thing, and yeah, he will be going first, and he's opened fairly well, and this is just kind of gonna show where the deck can struggle to put in results. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So our opponent's obviously gonna start by sending Parla for the foolish effect. getting the Tilru in the grave, reviving it with the hospitality to get the Rhoda effect from Tilru, as well as something in the grave, which is the Flom for battle phase shenanigans, sending another Flom, then going to use that to special summon a Parla, and it is our turn, and because our opponent controls monsters and we don't, we can special summon the Guanyin from hand, thankfully. So we do, then we're going to normal summon Lujan because our opponent still controls more monsters than us. We're going to try to send something from hand to grave in order to special summon another monster from deck to just tear his board apart. Of course, we do get ashed, which does slow our setup a lot. We're going to go ahead and use the Guanyun's effect because our opponent did control more monsters than us to pop something. However, we now enter the battle phase where Dragon Maids, if they have low-level monsters on the field, start to pop. So yeah, Tilru tags in for Flam, and then another Flam comes out for the Parla. And we can attack over this because the only way this deck has to beat over numbers bigger than it is Zongdi, pretty much. But yeah, so we go ahead and end battle phase. Then our opponent ended up getting Search, unfortunately. Gets the Dragon Ravine, but summons Parla first for deck fitting, I suppose. Off of the Dragon Ravine sends Desdrudo. Goes ahead and sums it out to go for just some big battle damage, summoning the left and another Flom. So yeah, we did get to draw a card though, thanks to Luan. Our Guanyin does die though, and we're taking some pretty big damage here. Then it is our turn once again. We draw, then we're going to go ahead and summon Guanyin from hand again, special summon the Sun Mao to get a search of the Zongdi, which we will now summon because we are finally able to beat over big monsters. Now we're using the Sun Mao effect because another Senka effect was activated to bounce something back to hand. Then we're going to make the Cerberus to go ahead and pop a Flom. Then it's battle phase, we attack over Flom, attack over Desdrudo, and go ahead and set the called. Our opponent, though, is going to go ahead and just get that trade in, so dropping the left to draw 2. Summons Tilru again, obviously, to get Search. Yeah, searches the Nassery, goes ahead and drops the Fluss, which, yeah, Fluss is a little bit of a weird call to be running. But, you know, gets the Tempest out, replaces it with left, goes for battle, crashes those two. It is our turn once again. We just set the Storming and pass. The Tempest goes back to his hand. Not much we're able to super do here outside of let him go ahead and get monsters on board. However, he is going to try to summon the Nassery to revive the Parla. We will banish that Parla so nothing happens. He does banish to summon the DM. Yeah, but yeah, gonna go ahead and get blown back. And there's no top deck that could save us here, unfortunately. But our opponent is going to go ahead and reset up their board, put that in defense mode in case it's another storming, and attack for game. And that's really the problem with this deck. If you can slow their level 4s down, they're pretty weak. And there's also the fact that Zongdi is the only way they have to get over bigger numbers, really. I mean, I guess Guanyin counts, but that's I don't know, that's still targeting removal, and it's not great, and it's pretty conditional. But yeah, honestly, a very fun deck to play. I got some great games out of it. I got like 3 or 4 more really good replays actually out of it. But I don't know. I don't think it'll be competitive or anything, and I don't think it has anything that even super makes it like rogue tier unless someone finds out like a wacky Fire Fist combination to do with it. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Fun, probably not competitive though. But yeah, that's gonna be the video. Let me know if there's any decks you want me to try, any ways I could improve this deck, outside of what I mentioned in the deck builder, I guess. And just generally ways I could do fun Yu-Gi-Oh content for you guys. But yeah, all that being said, like if you liked, comment if you have something to say, and subscribe if you want some more. This has been Ronin, signing off.